Hi, this is Caroline, and welcome to the second part of the tutorial how to make cream cheese for money preppers. Um, I'm going to leave you. Whoop. So yesterday we put a kilo of cream cheese into this leather linen cloth, and today, which is about 24 hours later, I'm going to remove the cloth and I'm going to take what's in the cloth and put it into. And I'm showing this to you because you can see that it dried up really nicely. And this is actually the texture that we're looking for. This is the texture that we are familiar with in our boursin, which we're making. So I washed my hands before I started this. So I'm going to put this into this. And it seems to be a little messy, but it's not actually. It's dry, and you can wash the cloth in the laundry like you would normally do, because we scoop all the dry out and put it with the other. Okay, so you can see that I'm doing this. For sake of time, I'll do this later, but you get the point. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what happened actually. Can you see this? Adjust this a little bit. So, okay, so you see now the contents is what we want. Is exactly what we want. Now, if you want it a little bit more creamy, then you could also add a little cream or yogurt. And now you're thinking, hey, yesterday we took the moisture out and now we're adding it in. Yeah, that depends on how moist you want it. But for me, I think this is a nice consistency. If you take the cheaper stuff, then it might be just too dry and you have to add something. I like to add some yogurt. This is goat yogurt, but you could take any yogurt that you like to make it a little bit more fluid. Okay, so now I'm going to divide it over 4 bowls. You see the bowls here. And what I've done, I have prepared this for you. So in this first bowl, I'm going to mix it, and I'm going to put a little bit in. Sorry for that. Okay, so I'm going to put about a quarter in. And maybe it's nice to know how much that is still left once we drain it out. So if I weigh the bowl and I set it on 0 and I put the other bowl on, then the content of what we have now is 140 grams. So if I add just a little bit more, I have 150 grams, which is actually equal to what we have bought in the store yesterday of the Boursin. So this equals this, and what's remaining is this. Okay, so let's start with the first one. The first one I'm going to use fresh chives, which I will chop. I have fresh garlic, and I added and cut some parsley. So I'm going to put the parsley in it. Now I'm quickly going to cut some chives, which I have in my garden. I have a lot of herbs in my garden for cooking. So I'm going to add these herbs. And you can add as much herbs as you want. As we're using it tonight, you can just take the fresh herbs and then cool them afterwards to keep it nice and fresh. And so you just mix it through. And you can think of any variety that you want and add as much herbs as you want. So this one is actually my version of this, the one that we bought, right? And I will, I think this is about enough. If you want more, you just chop some more and add it. I mean, this is just your preference, what you like. And I like a lot of chives. So adding those in. There we go. Okay, and this is... Now if we compare this, I'm going to just put a little cling foil over this to cover it. And with a little piece of paper, I'm going to clean the sides. It looks really nice. And then put some cling foil over, and I'm going to reuse this later, so I'm going to have it rest here. So this is the version that we bought in the store, and this is the version that we made. Same version. This one's fresh. This one's also fresh, but it still contains a lot more fat. So when I'm looking at the 0% fat that we used, then our Boursin variation has 39 grams of fat in 100 grams of product, and this is 150. I mean, just for those who are looking on their fat intake. Okay, so that was the version number 1. Then I have, and I'm going back to my bowls, I have version number 2. These are, this is basil, and these are also fresh thyme, oregano from my garden. I'll cut these and put it in the bowl with the same amount of cream cheese that I did the first time, 150 grams. And I will decorate it with a little pretty flower, so people know this is the Italian version. So that's number 2. Number 3, I'm going to take a little 5 spices. I put some chili powder in it for the punch, and you could also make a curry taste. Like a lemon curry, or you can have a green or a yellow. You can just add pepper and salt. I use Himalaya salt, but you can use whatever salt you want. You could add some Tabasco. And these are just a few examples of spices and herbs that you can use. Now, just for the fun of it, I'm going to see how many bowls that we can make. So I'm going to weigh them again, because I just like this. I just like this process. Like, okay, how much can we make? So I'm going to weigh the bowl, put it back on 0, and then I'm going to add some of this. Okay, this is 135. see how much this is. And just for fun, we're going to see how much this is. Okay, also. Okay, so if I would take everything that I have and scoop it off, I could actually make 3 times the amount that I could have if I just bought it. Okay, and then so we made all our different kinds. I've given you some inspiration. And the empty container, I'm going to use and freeze some leftover pasta from yesterday, which reduces my waste, and I'm all for reusing stuff. Now you've probably been wondering what this is. This I'm also going to use. What happens if you buy spring onions? You cut them off and you throw the roots away. Now I don't ever do that again. And I'm going to show you. If you cut them off like this, then this part you can put into a glass, just water it, and it will grow again. And with the onions that I have grown in the past 2 weeks, I can make a nice ingredient for my cream cheese, because I just love spring onions. They're so fresh and so delicious that it's just great to use one of my dips and use the spring onions, which grew on the roots that you normally throw away. So folks, I hope I gave you a lot of inspiration. On making your own cream cheese dip. It's delicious, and as you saw, it wasn't only fun to do, but we also made 3 times as much cream cheese for the same amount of money. And you have a fresh product without any fillers or additives, and yeah, you had fun making it. So remember folks, be prepared to do this at home. Bye-bye.